Hey everyone, it's Anna. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for visiting. First of all, welcome to October. I cannot believe it's already October and have no idea where this year has gone. But I'm happy it's October. It's my favorite month. It's my favorite season. And I'm just always really inspired by not only the colors of fall, all the fall things that you see outside, like the sunflowers in the garden are coming to a close, the garden harvest is coming in, and everything is just looking really beautiful this time of year. So I'm also here to introduce you to the limited edition set from Impression Obsession for the month of October, and it's fall themed, so that is super exciting for me. I had a really good time using this particular set and making some samples. So let me go ahead and share the art with you. This is the limited edition set. I'll also show you some other products that I use to make my samples, and then I'll share my cards with you. So the first image in the set is a large turkey, and he's standing amongst a gathering of harvest goods. So there's a pumpkin, there's some wheat, there's some ears of corn and some grapes and some leaves. And he's just looking all kinds of beautiful with his tail all spread. So he's gorgeous. There's a little bundle of corn. So it has 3 ears of corn, and then the husks are all tied up with like a raffia type bow. So fun image there. And there's 2 little leaves. This is like a maple leaf, and this one looks kind of like an oak leaf, I guess. So those 2 little stamps are quite little but fun, great for background filler. There's this beautiful leaf image here. This is 2 different kinds of leaves. There's probably like a, I don't know, sugar gum tree maybe, and whatever that tree is that has the spiky seed pods, I think that is those leaves there. And then the other leaves in here are oak leaves, and there's some little acorns on there as well. So that's a cute little bundle. And then there's 3 sentiments in the set. This one says, "Take time to give thanks." This one says, "Happy Thanksgiving." So this set not only takes you through October, but also into November, which is nice. And then this one says, "Autumn Blessings." So I love this sentiment. It's the one I used on my projects. And then the large image in the set is this beautiful cornucopia. It's like a basket style cornucopia. It has a really large pumpkin here in the middle. There's a beautiful gourd and a smaller, like a pie pumpkin maybe. There's some beautiful flowers, wheat, there's grapes, there's beautiful leaves here as well. So it's just a really nicely drawn image. Then, so those are the images from the limited edition set itself. In addition to those images, I also used a few other things on my project, so I wanted to share those with you as well. This is a cover a card, so it's a large 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 stamp. And this is called Broken Chain Link, and it's number CC180. This is a really beautiful stamp for creating background interest on your projects. You can see the design there. So it's not new, but it's one of my absolute favorites from Impression Obsession, and it's still available in the catalog. I also used this one. I use this stamp a lot. This is another cover a card stamp. So this is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And this one is called Beauty Text, and that number is CC142. You can see on the back here I've written the name and the item number, and I've put an arrow so I know which direction is up on this stamp. Because some of these with small designs can be kind of challenging to know which way is up really quickly. So I like marking them when I can. So this is a really fun text to use. It's really small, and I like using it on backgrounds. And then the last stamp that I used on my projects is this one here. It's another cover a card stamp, and this one is called Ledger, and it's CC165. And this is just a really great stamp also for adding interest to your backgrounds. And I like that it has the different styles of grids. Here is the smaller rectangles, and then you have just some lines here, which are broken up with some dot detail. So that's kind of fun. And then I used 2 dies on my projects. I used this one here. It's called Fancy Label. And this is one of my dies for Impression Obsession, and it has beautiful stitching detail around the outside edges. This is great for plant label projects. If you're working on any gardening projects, this is a great design for making plant labels. And there's the die itself. You can see the stitching details there. And it's pierced details, not stitching. And the other die set that I used is my die set called Trims. And this one is 1163-ZZ, and it has 5 different pieces of trims that you can die cut. One of them is my favorite here, this one that looks like rickrack that's been stitched down the center. So this is the die that I used on some of my projects. So let me go ahead and set these things off to the side here so I can share my samples with you. Let's see, which one do I want to start with? I think I'll start with this one. All right, so this card, you can see here I used that broken chain link here on the background. So what I did is I inked the stamp and then I misted it with some water. And then when I inked my cardstock here, I didn't press it down completely. I just kind of lightly pressed it down and left it so that not all the areas on the cardstock would get that stamp impression done. So you can see how it is kind of like a broken stamp design there. Here's that label die cut with the Happy Thanksgiving sentiment stamped on there. And then for the panel here, what I did is I first stamped the leaves randomly along the edge of my cardstock strip. I tore the edge here for a rough edge. And then finally what I did is I used that ledger stamp and I inked it up and spritzed it again and stamped my cardstock with it. And because I added that extra water before adding it to my cardstock, you can see how it kind of gives like a watercolored look to it. So I really love using that technique. And the leaves are watercolored with my Paul Rubens watercolors. So I think this card turned out really cute. A little bit of twine there as well. And a really easy card to make. Because my cardstock here was a little longer and I couldn't bear to cut off and discard the leaves, I just folded them over and included them on the inside. So there you go. That's my first sample using those beautiful images. My next card uses the corn. So here's that beautiful bundle of 3 ears of corn. And here's in the background where you can see I added the beauty text. Again, I inked it up and I spritzed it with water. And then when I set my paper down on the stamp, I was sure not to impress the background stamp into the center there. And that's what left the corn free of any words over it. I also stamped that beautiful sentiment there and added some additional brown ink to the outside edges just to kind of add to the distress of the look. And then here you can see where I've added that beautiful gold foil cardstock that I used with that faux rickrack die. So, and then a cute little bow finishes off this card. Really fun. I also sprinkled this one with copper colored watercolor pigments, so you might be able to see some of the shimmer in here down in this area maybe. So this card looks really beautiful with the light shining on it. And then the third sample that I have to share with you is this one here. And this one uses that big beautiful cornucopia, so you can see all the different fruits and vegetables that are there in the cornucopia, and it has a beautiful basket weave as well. There's sunflowers, leaves, pumpkins, there's a big gourd right here in the middle, some berries, so it's just a really beautiful image. And then here in the background you can see where I used that broken chain link stamp design, and then here on this layer here I used the ledger, and I love how that technique leaves it, makes it look like it's been watercolored. I think it's really beautiful. And then here I use that same label die to create a little bit of interest here and adding a little tucked die piece into my project. And then again, some twine there to finish off the card. I used a beautiful olive green card for the card base, and I think it pulls in nicely with the colors of the painted image. And then I also sprinkled this one with some copper colored watercolor paints as well. I don't know if you can see it on the design here, but again, this card looks really beautiful in the light. So thank you so much for checking out my video and my cards. I hope you're inspired. I will put links down below to the Impression Obsession limited edition category where you can find this set, and maybe last month's set may be still available for a short time as well. So I'll put a link down to that as well. And then also a link to my blog where you'll find a link to the Impression Obsession blog and links to all the other designers who are participating in the inspiration for today's release. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video and are inspired to not only create fall cards, but also inspired by the season's sights and sounds and smells and colors. So thank you so much. I hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.